You ever look around and realize that the people closest to you aren't really with you? That you could be sitting in a room full of friends, laughing, talking, vibing, and still feel completely alone. Yeah, that kind of loneliness hits different. Because it's not the silence that hurts, it's the noise that's fake. See, being alone doesn't break you, but being surrounded by fake friends, that's what drains your soul drop by drop until you forget who you are. These people, they clap for you when you're up, but they flinch when you start to rise higher than them. They call you bro, sis, fam, until it's inconvenient to stand beside you. They'll eat at your table, but never bring a dish. They'll take your time, your energy, your loyalty, and give you excuses in return. And the worst part, they make you feel guilty for expecting the same energy back. You know that feeling? When you show up for everyone, but no one shows up for you? When you check on people who don't even think to ask if you're okay? When you pour out your soul and all they give you is silence? Yeah, that's not friendship, that's emotional theft. Let's be real for a second. Most people don't want friends, they want fans. They want people who will clap when they win, stay quiet when they lose, and never question their fake smiles. They don't want loyalty. They want convenience. They don't want real conversations. They want validation. And when you stop giving it, when you stop being available, stop answering every call, stop fixing problems you didn't create, suddenly you're the bad guy. They'll call you distant, fake, cold. But the truth? You just stopped being used. You see, fake friends love your light until it outshines them. Then suddenly they start throwing shade. They'll act like they're cheering for you while secretly praying for your downfall. They'll smile to your face, then send screenshots of your pain to the group chat. It's wild, isn't it? How people can eat with you and still be jealous of the hand that feeds them. How they'll say, "I got your back," but go silent when it's time to prove it. And still, we hold on. Because we don't want to be alone. We tell ourselves, maybe they'll change, maybe they didn't mean it, maybe I'm overreacting. But deep down, you know the truth. You're not surrounded by friends. You're surrounded by people who pretend well. And that realization, it cuts deep. Because fake friends don't just disappoint you, they teach you. They teach you what manipulation sounds like disguised as advice. They teach you what jealousy looks like wrapped in fake concern. They teach you that sometimes "I'm proud of you" really means "I hope you fail soon." And when you finally see it, when the mask slips and the truth hits, it hurts. Because now you've got memories that don't feel safe anymore, inside jokes that sound hollow, laughs that feel staged, moments that used to feel warm now taste like betrayal. But here's the thing, that pain, it's necessary because it shows you who's real. It teaches you to stop mistaking history for loyalty. Just because you've known someone for years doesn't mean they deserve a seat in your future. You can't build peace around people who secretly root for your chaos. So yeah, be alone. Be by yourself if you have to. It's better than being surrounded by people who want to see you doing good, but never better than them. Better than those who take your secrets as currency. Better than those who only show up when there's a spotlight. Because loneliness with peace is better than popularity with poison. You want to know something real? The older you get, the quieter your circle becomes. Not because you hate people, but because you finally understand that energy is expensive. Not everyone can afford yours. Let them say you've changed. Let them call you fake. They'll never admit that what really happened is you stopped playing dumb. You stopped ignoring the red flags. You stopped shrinking so others could shine. You stopped laughing at jokes made at your expense. And that silence, that distance, that's your power now. Because fake friends feed off access. Take that away and you'll see how fast their loyalty disappears. They'll test you too. They'll pop back up with the "Hey stranger" text. They'll comment on your post like they didn't vanish when you needed them. They'll try to slide back in with nostalgia and fake apologies. But don't open that door. You already know what's behind it. Empty promises, recycled lies, and temporary loyalty. They didn't change. They just realized they lost the best thing they'll ever have. Someone real. And you don't owe them another chance. You don't owe them closure. You owe yourself peace. Because peace hits different when you've been through fake love. When you've heard "I got you" from people who never did. When you've cried in silence over people who joked about your pain. You start moving differently. You stop explaining yourself. You stop giving discounts on your energy. You stop letting clowns sit at the king's table. And suddenly solitude doesn't feel scary anymore. It feels sacred. Because that's where the healing starts. That's where you rebuild piece by piece without the noise. You stop trying to fit in. You stop performing. You stop needing people who only love you when you're easy to love. And you start walking in your truth, even if it means walking alone. You see, fake friends don't hate you. They hate that you can't be controlled anymore. They hate that your peace doesn't depend on their presence. They hate that you stopped responding to manipulation disguised as friendship. That's why your silence bothers them. Because silence means you figured them out. It means the mask doesn't work anymore. And once you see through the act, they lose their power. So yeah, walk alone if you have to. Walk away from tables where respect isn't served. Walk away from people who laugh when you hurt and vanish when you bleed. Walk away from friends who are only loyal when they need something. You'll miss them for a while. That's the truth. But eventually you'll realize that you never missed them. You missed who you thought they were. And that version only existed in your hope, not in reality. Once that clicks, you're free. Because real friends don't compete. They clap. They don't drain you. They fill you. They don't disappear when you struggle. They show up even when it's inconvenient. And until you find those people, be okay walking alone. Because being alone doesn't mean you're unloved. It means you finally stopped settling for half love. It means you stopped being an option in people's lives where you gave them priority. It means you finally learned the difference between being included and being valued. That's growth, that's power, that's peace. And one day when they realize what they lost, when they see you glowing in your solitude, laughing without their drama, thriving without their energy, they'll panic. They'll say you switched up. They'll say you think you're better now. But the truth is, you just got smarter. You stopped mistaking fake love for friendship. You stopped calling users family. You stopped bleeding for people who wouldn't even hand you a bandage. And that evolution, it's something fake friends can't stand because they built their comfort on your loyalty. And when that loyalty leaves, their whole act falls apart. So don't apologize for choosing yourself. Don't explain your silence. Don't feel guilty for walking alone, because peace doesn't need permission. You gave your heart to people who didn't have the hands to hold it. You gave your loyalty to people who only wanted leverage. And you paid the price. But now you're collecting the lessons. You've learned to trust actions, not words. To listen to patterns, not promises. To understand that sometimes silence speaks louder than "I love you." You've learned that the ones who gossip with you will gossip about you. That "I got your back" really means until it's inconvenient. That fake friends will love the idea of you, but never the reality of who you are. And when that realization sinks in, you don't chase anymore. You don't beg. You don't try to fix what was never real. You let go. You breathe. And you build peace so strong that fake energy can't enter anymore. Because at the end of the day, it's better, way better, to be alone in truth than surrounded by people who lie. So walk alone, walk proud, walk in peace, because fake friends can't stand what they can't control, and nothing scares them more than seeing you finally happy without them.